Hey guys, so I already started with my eyes primed and my brows done. I used my favorite primer, which is the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Caffeine, and I just set that with the e.l.f. under eye powder. And I just started by going above my crease with my Maybelline Fit Me powder. I know you can't see it, but I put that above so that I could just have a neutral like brown. And then I moved into the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro palette. And I went into this like very light sandy brown color. None of these shades have names. And once I got that all nice and blended into the crease, I moved down that same row to this dark matte, like cool tone brown, and I just started packing that in the outer V with this like dense eyeshadow brush from Amazon. And I went over it a couple times to just build up the intensity and get it a little bit more dark. Then I moved on to this like deep orangey tone. You can't really see it in the pan, but once I put it on my eye, it was like bam, orange, like the same color as my shirt. And I just placed that with this small eyeshadow brush from the same Amazon kit, and I tried to blend the two colors together in the middle. Then I moved on to a slightly fluffier brush, once again from the same kit, and I like really went into actually blend because the little brush just wasn't doing it. And I blended out the dark brown first. And then I just took my finger and took the orange shade and kind of placed it over where the two shadows meet to like further blend them together. Then I went back into the palette and I took this coppery shimmer shade and I used that to highlight my brow bone. And then I just moved on to like gelling down my brows since I had them highlighted. I used the Maybelline Great Lash Blast clear one. Oh, and I forgot to mention it at the start of the video, but I used the e.l.f. brow pencil to do my brows, and then the BH Cosmetics brow palette. Then I moved on to eyeliner. I used the W7, like just liquid black eyeliner. Then I moved on to priming, just used the e.l.f. face primer, the Blemish control one, put that all over my face, and then I went into the Studio like Perfect NYX primer, but I just take a little bit of that and put it like where my pores are really bad and where my skin has a good amount of texture. And then I moved into my Fit Me foundation in Cafe. It took a long time to get out of there. And I took a whole bunch of that color, and then I took a darker color, which is a 375 Java, and I took just a little bit of that and mixed the two together to try and get the right shade. And I'm just using an e.l.f. foundation brush to put that all over my face and blend out. Then I moved on to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. don't remember the shade, I will put it down in the description. And I use this to cream contour just because it's too dark for me. And like, looking back at it, I probably should have just used a brush to do this, but you know, I wasn't thinking about that because the applicator is pretty thick because this is a foundation, but it's alright. We go and blend and we're gonna work it out. This is the e.l.f. like massager tool. It has some weird like random name about how it's like a multi-purpose tool. I just used it to blend out the contour. Then I went into the e.l.f. bronzer palette and I took that deepest shade in the corner to set my cream contour. And I'm just using the Wet n Wild contour brush. Then I moved on to concealer. This is Maybelline Fit Me in Cafe. And I just put that under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, high points of my chin, Cupid's bow, center of my forehead. I went really light on the forehead though because, you know, I got a big old forehead. And then I went into the e.l.f. Like concealer palette, the dark one, and I just took that lightest shade and added a little bit of that for some added coverage. Just on the under eyes though, because the e.l.f. concealer is creamy, so I like that it provides additional coverage, but it's a little too creamy that it creases, so that's why I mixed it with the Fix Me. And then I just took this Real Technique sponge to blend out all the concealer on my face. Then I went to the e.l.f. under eye powder, and when I opened it, it all just like came out and spilled on me. So I had to disrupt my little setup just to show you like how bad it was. Don't mind my dirty sweatpants, but there's powder all over them now. Great. Then I just went into that powder with the same Real Techniques brush. Real Techniques, that sounded awful, sorry. And I just powdered underneath my eyes. Then I went back into the bronzer palette and I took that light, like cool tone brown shade in the top corner, and I used that to set the concealer on my face. And I swirl into that a little bit to, like, you know, blend out the bake underneath my eyes so that my under eyes have a little bit more color. And then I just went back into the contour brush to like fix my nose contour. She was looking a little rough. And I dipped into two shades in the eyeshadow palette, like a orangey color and like a reddish tone, and mixed those together to get a blush shade. Then I moved on to a highlighter. This is the Wet n Wild like limited edition gold bar highlighter. I don't know if they still sell this or if it like only comes out certain times of year, but this is so good. Like, oh, it's like $4 or $5 and it's so like pretty and blinding. And I'm also using the e.l.f. like tapered highlighter brush to apply that. And then I dipped back into that same copper shade that I used to highlight my brow bone, and I just put that on top of the gold to add like a little bit of a more coppery orangey tone to match the eyes. And then I was just like, powdering my face because I somehow forgot to do it. So I just powdered the unpowdered parts and a little bit over my contour to blend it out and make it look more natural. And then I moved on to lips. This is the Too Faced Melted Chocolate lipstick. And I put that in the center. And for the outer part of my lips, I used the Black Radiance like cream lipstick in I don't remember because it doesn't have a name. It's just like a bunch of numbers, so I'll put it down in the description. But it's like a very beautiful, like deep brown. And then I just decided to line my waterline. This is NYK Black Eyeliner. And I just tight lined and did my waterline real quick. And I took this e.l.f. little tiny poony brush to like blend out that black eyeliner that I had just put on and kind of, make sure it blended into the inner corner highlight and just smoking out my lower lash line a little bit. And then I set my face with the e.l.f. makeup mist. And while that was drying down, I put on my mascara. This is also e.l.f. I swear e.l.f. did not pay me to make this video. I just had a ton of their products because I tried to do a full face of e.l.f., but you'll see that video later. So I'm using the e.l.f. Volumizing Mascara. And after I applied 100 coats of that, I just posed and tried to be cute and said goodbye. Thanks for watching.